Good morning, students. Dear students, last class we have discussed about gauge pressure and absolute pressure. In that, the main thing is what? Nothing that the gauge pressure is the pressure related to atmospheric pressure. Gauge pressure is positive for pressure above atmospheric pressure. The same for gauge pressure as negative, that will be below than that of atmospheric pressure. But anyway, how we have to differentiate that the gauge pressure and atmospheric pressure? Absolute pressure. The simplest way to explain the difference between the absolute pressure uses absolute zero as its 0 point, whereas gauge pressure uses atmospheric pressure as 0 point. That is the main difference. Listen. Now, absolute zero position, this is one. Now, this bottom line, no, it indicates that what? We can consider as earth surface like that. Earth surface. This is the point as being absolute 0 point. Absolute zero pressure. From that point up to the level, the presence of atmospheric air, the pressure exerted by the atmospheric air is referred to atmospheric pressure up to this level, this one. So, from absolute 0 point to up to the distance where the atmospheric air present or dispersed, up to that level is referred to what? Barometric pressure. That is atmospheric pressure only. It is called as otherwise barometric pressure. So anyway, from that earth surface to the point where atmospheric air dispersed or present, up to that level, the pressure exerted by the air is called atmospheric pressure. That is barometric pressure. Now, what is that absolute pressure? It's nothing that here from the absolute 0 point, from over here, from the bottom line, from over here up to the point where we have selected. For example, up to this point 1. This is a pressure greater than atmospheric pressure. That is referred to what? Absolute pressure. The same way, the absolute pressure we can measure from this bottom line up to this point. Listen here, up to this point. This is the absolute pressure lesser than that of atmospheric pressure. That is the main thing. Able to follow? So, atmospheric pressure is nothing that from absolute 0 point to the point where up to that atmospheric air present. That is called atmospheric pressure. Absolute pressure means nothing that from the absolute 0 point, from absolute 0 point, from here, the point where you have selected above the atmospheric layer or within the atmospheric layer. Anyway, the point we have select as 0 point, that is called absolute 0 point. That is called absolute zero. Now, here what is the difference between gauge pressure and absolute pressure? Listen here. The gauge pressure is nothing that here the atmospheric pressure, this line, no, the atmospheric pressure line considered as a 0 point. Considered as a 0 point. For which one? Gauge pressure. For gauge pressure, the atmospheric layer where it get end, no, up to the top one. That means atmospheric pressure. So, the atmospheric pressure here considered as a 0 point pressure for gauge pressure. So, the pressure measured by the gauge, that is instrument, the pressure measured by the pressure gauge above the atmospheric pressure, then it is called a positive gauge pressure. When we measure the pressure with the help of gauge pressure, gauge instrument, if it is lower, that means what? By this point. There is a below that atmospheric pressure, no? So this pressure is referred to negative gauge pressure. Here, listen, negative gauge pressure. It is maybe considered as what? Vacuum pressure also like that. So this is the way we have to differentiate what is atmospheric pressure. Then what is absolute pressure? What is absolute pressure? And then what is gauge pressure? As what is the 0 point for gauge pressure as well as for absolute pressure. Absolute pressure, the 0 point from the bottom line, from over here. For absolute pressure, that is a 0 point. For gauge pressure, the atmospheric pressure level, no, that is let it be as a 0 point pressure. For gauge pressure being as positive and negative. Above the atmospheric pressure, the gauge pressure is called positive gauge pressure. Below the atmospheric pressure, the gauge pressure is referred to negative gauge pressure. That is the main difference. So from the diagram, we can easily understand what is absolute pressure and gauge pressure. Listen here, the last topic, this one. Absolute pressure here, listen. Absolute pressure is the sum of gauge pressure and atmospheric pressure. That only we have seen, no? Here listen. Absolute pressure is what? That is this atmospheric pressure, the whole one. The atmospheric pressure and the positive gauge pressure that we have measured here, no? Above the atmospheric pressure. These two things. This let it be as 1. This let it be 2. This 1 plus 2 together is called absolute pressure. This is called absolute pressure. That only here they have stated as absolute pressure is the sum of gauge pressure and atmospheric pressure. Right. Already I told you, gauge pressure as being two types. Positive gauge pressure and negative gauge pressure. Positive gauge pressure means the pressure measured by the pressure gauge above atmospheric pressure. That is positive value. When the pressure measured by gauge pressure as being lower than atmospheric pressure, that is called a negative gauge pressure. So based on that concept, the pressure which one higher than atmospheric pressure, that means what? Measured by gauge, pressure gauge as being higher than atmospheric pressure. For that, the formula to calculate the absolute pressure is what? Nothing that atmospheric pressure plus gauge pressure. That is, from the diagram we can easily understand. Absolute pressure, this absolute pressure, what is that? Nothing that since the gauge pressure is above, higher than atmospheric pressure, it's nothing that the atmospheric pressure plus the gauge pressure we have measured. That's why. Now, the pressure measured by the pressure gauge is lower than atmospheric pressure. Then absolute pressure equal to atmospheric pressure minus, listen the sign, minus gauge pressure. Here plus, but here minus. That means this one, this pressure is what? Below that atmospheric pressure, no? So it is measured by pressure gauge. So here the absolute pressure is what? Nothing that the atmospheric pressure we have measured by this point, no? The atmospheric pressure minus this pressure. That means what? The negative gauge pressure. That one we have to minus. So this is the formula to calculate absolute pressure, as well as we know that what is the difference between absolute pressure and gauge pressure. Next we move to the same topic in that one. Already we know that the liquid column exert the pressure. That means what? In the liquid column, when we go depth and depth, when we go deep and deep, this is a liquid column. So when we go deep and deep, from top layer to deep and deep, there is increasing of pressure. This by the same concept, in sea level also, when we go in deep and deep to depth of the sea, there is more pressure than that of what is the pressure at a top level, top surface of the seawater. Listen. So that the pressure inside the sea will be more. How many times? It is more than twice the atmospheric pressure when we go deep into the sea water. So, our parts of our body, especially the blood vessel, then soft tissues, cannot withstand with the high pressure. That and all will get damaged. Our blood vessels and all, vein and all will get burst off. So, in order to avoid that, in order to protect the blood vessel and our soft tissues, we have to wear the special dress that is called scuba. It's the name of the special equipment to carry the people. They are going deep into the seawater. So scuba divers. It's nothing that scuba means nothing that see that first letter of the word self-contained underwater breathing apparatus. So the first letter and all we can add together. That is what? S, C, U and B and A. That is called scuba. Self-contained underwater breathing apparatus. Next we move to that Pascal law. The law states that the external pressure, it's a very important topic, listen. This is the external pressure applied on incompressible liquid. Incompressible liquid. The pressure transmitted uniformly throughout the liquid. That means over on the water surface, since it is being as a incompressible one, when we apply the force or pressure at a particular point of liquid surface, that force or pressure transmitted uniformly throughout the liquid medium. That is Pascal law. That we can understand with one example. Listen. See here that picture, the diagram. Listen here. Here we have taken that a round bottom flask. About the flask, around the flask, we made a pinhole surrounding to that one, and then have to fill the water inside of the flask, and then by using the piston P, we have to apply the force on that one. So about this point, we apply the force on liquid surface, but it transmitted to all direction. It transmitted to all direction uniformly. That is very important thing we have to listen. Uniformly to all direction the force transmitted. Result of that only from all hole, the water will come out with the same force. So from that observation, the Pascal law is verified. That means when we apply the force on incompressible liquid medium, the applied force transmitted uniformly throughout the liquid body, liquid medium. This is Pascal law. This is the way we have to prove that one, verify that one. Now, that Pascal law is applicable in day-to-day life instrument also. That is in that the one of the instrument we can use that hydraulic press. Hydraulic press. That hydraulic press is used to lift the larger, heavier weight object simply by apply the small amount of force or pressure through the small surface area of the liquid. Listen, hydraulic press. Here we have taken that the apparatus having that two different area of cross section cylinder. The first one is a bigger area of cross section. its area of cross section, let it be the capital A, they can given. Then another limb with the smaller surface area. The area of cross section given as small a. Here given no small a. So the pressure exerted through the large surface area is nothing but P into A2. That is area of cross section. P into A2. For a smaller surface area, the force applied is P into A1. That is area of cross section. Listen. Pascal law became the basis for one of the important mechanics ever developed, the hydraulic press one. It consists of two cylinders of different cross-sectional areas as shown in the figure. They are fitted with the piston of cross-section areas as A and small a and capital A. The object to be lifted is placed over the piston of large area of cross-sectional area as what? A, this one. The object which one have to lift, that have to keep on that cylinder having the larger surface area. The force F1 is applied on the piston of small cross-sectional area A. So, on the wider, larger surface area cylinder have to keep the weight which one to be lifted. Then pressure, the force have to apply through the smaller cylinder area of cross section as smaller a. Now, the pressure P produced by the small piston, it is transmitted equally to the larger piston, and force F2 acts on A, which is much larger than the force F1 which one applied on that one smaller area of cross section. So such a way, by spend the smaller less amount of energy, we can lift the higher weight object by using the concept of Pascal law. So it is applied in hydraulic press. Then pressure on the piston of a smaller area is given by as P equal to F1 by A1. The pressure what is given on piston, that is F1 of area of cross section A1. Applying Pascal law, the pressure on large piston area A will be the same as that of smaller piston. Therefore, P equal to F2 by A2. F2 by A2 for the larger one. What is the force we have applied through the smaller area of cross section, that is let it be F1, as being the same which available on the larger area of cross section, that is F2. Since because the force applied which one transmitted uniformly throughout the water medium, no. So F1 will be equal to F2, like that we can say. So here for equation 1, as by equation 1, that is P equal to F1 by A1. The same way for a larger cross-sectional pressure, let it be as like that equation 2. That is P equal to F by A2. So comparing the equation 1 and 2. Comparing the equation 1 and 2. F1 by A1 equal to F2 by A2. Or that we can write as, that means what? We want to find out the force F2. No. So we have to rearrange the equation as F2 equal to F1 into A2 by A1. That means what? F2 have to keep as it is by this side. Then A2 bring to that side. A2 bring to that side. So what will come? F1 into A2 by A1. Since the ratio A2 by A1 is greater than 1, the force F2 that acts on the larger piston is greater than that of the force F1 what we have applied on smaller piston. So this is the basic logic using or functioning of hydraulic press. So hydraulic system working in this way are known as force multipliers. So hydraulic press used by this way of multiplying the force, it is called force multipliers. So remaining you will see in the next class. Thank you.